Hi guys, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Wednesday the 5th of June 2019. Thanks for joining me. Let's have a look at what is coming up today, and I'm using the Lo Scarabeo Tarot for this reading. Strength, the Nine of Swords, and the Eight of Swords. Okay, so very simply, strength is being able to overcome inner beasts and difficulties that are kind of thrown your way from the world, from external sources. The Nine of Wands represents worry, and in this case, really serious worry. And the Eight of Swords is being stuck because you're building an imaginary ladder for yourself of negativity and you really have no idea what the truth is. So there's a lot of mental anguish going on, but you have the strength to deal with it. Now, what's interesting about this deck is that we've got this beautiful woman taming this lion, gorgeous lion as well, and she has this dress on, light blue, very pale blue, and a red rose in her hair. So she really cares about this animal. She cares about herself because the lion is a symbol and is a representation of her inner flaws, her inner character defects. So pride, jealousy, compulsive shopping, a tendency to lie, as examples, okay? So we all have faults, none of us are perfect, but she, instead of rejecting the lion and saying, I want nothing to do with you, she knows that she's a good person despite all of those things, and that by working with her flaws and looking at them square in the eye and facing them, she can actually tame the beast, so to speak, and she's able to integrate them and alter them into her personality and become the person she wants to be. Whenever you fragment yourself into little bits, like I don't like the fact that I'm envious of other people, so I'm going to cut that bit off myself and I'm going to bury it somewhere in the back of my mind, put it in a black box and throw it into an abyss somewhere at the back of my mind. The more and more you do that, the more you chop yourself into little pieces, and the more frail and alone you're going to feel spiritually, because you're literally chipping, well, not literally, you're spiritually chipping away at yourself and cutting yourself up and weakening yourself, whereas this is a process of reclaiming that. Reclaim all of your flaws. I know it's a cliche to say the flaws that you have are what make you beautiful, but they really are. You know, if you have teeth that are crooked and you just despise that, some people may find that incredibly endearing about you. So this could also mean external problems. So the tax people are after her. She's just lost her job. Her husband is controlling. She's able to deal with those problems, not by hiding, but by, again, looking at those things and saying, I'm going to resolve these issues because I care for myself. I love myself. I'm not going to run away from these problems so that they will catch up with me and people are going to put me in prison in the case of the tax things. I want to be free and live a wonderful life and be able to express my passions. So I'm going to face whatever comes my way and nothing can harm me. I'm not scared. And a big influence here in this deck and the way this card is drawn is that we have the sunlight of spirit illuminating her. The reason she's so calm and she looks so happy and like this is so easy, because I don't know about you, but if I had this big lion in front of me, I'd be a little bit scared to touch him. And I'd think about, what if I'm going to lose a hand here? She is really brave by facing these problems, and it's because she doesn't feel alone. She's in the sunlight of spirit, so she's connected to her higher self. She knows that deep down she's a good person. She knows that the universe loves her. And that, just knowing that in itself, is such a weight off your shoulders. It is just it's such a relief knowing that she's not dealing with this by herself. She's got support. And the universe is helping her deal with that, and that's why she's not scared. The Nine of Swords is what happens when you don't feel connected with spirit and you just let your ego mind run riot within you. And this is what happens when you don't have that strength and that love for yourself. So he's not facing the beast. He's not facing the lion. He's escaped. He's run off. And he thought that he could leave his problems behind. But the writing is on the wall, okay? And he is holding his head in his hands because he feels like not only is he going to go to jail because of the taxes, and not only, what were the other examples? Not only is his partner controlling of him, but because the ego is at work and he's got no defense, because he's all alone with this and he's run trying to escape his inner demons, he's put himself in a corner, and now the ego makes that seem even bloodier and more difficult. So not only is he going to go to jail, but he's going to be stabbed in jail and he's going to die there. The partner isn't just going to be controlling, it's going to get even worse, and the partner's going to start stalking him and is going to try and plot his death. So it's blowing things way out of proportion by running away and not facing your fears. So if there are things going on, ask for support and help from the universe, and you'll have what it takes to deal with your issues. Finally, we've got another solution to the problem. This woman is blindfolded. She has no idea what's going on. And she is also like, he's kind of creating this really dramatic thing for himself. She's also got lots and lots of negative ideas and thoughts going on. And she's lining them up in a ladder to lead to the conclusion that I am a terrible person. Things are going to go totally wrong for me. I am going to end up in prison and be stabbed. I am going to be stalked by the ex-partner. And she really has no idea of what the truth is, because also she's run away. She's in the middle of nowhere. She's at the end of this. She's come to the end of the road. So she thought the desert was better than actually staying where she was and just dealing with what's happening. Now, she's wearing a purple dress. She has the ability to, she doesn't need to see with her eyes, which means she doesn't need physical proof. She doesn't need to figure this out with logic. The purple dress is a symbol of spirituality and intuition. And all she needs to do is tune into herself. The clouds will open just as they open here. The sunlight of spirit will illuminate things for her. She's not going to feel alone. She's not going to feel afraid. And because of that, there's nothing stopping her from taking that blindfold off. Do you see? It's just her fear that's keeping her blindfolded. So as long as she's supported and she doesn't feel alone anymore, she can take that blindfold off. And she can see that she was imagining this whole thing, this whole ladder was leading her to faulty conclusions, and it was just something that she built in her own mind. Whenever we have worries and fears running through our heads, they seem much bigger than when you actually talk with another person about those problems or when you write them down. Because when you share them with other people will have gone through something similar and will have said, hey, actually, I experienced that too. And yes, it was unpleasant, but I was able to deal with it. Whereas if you keep things to yourself, you're the only person who's suffered, you're the only person who's going through this, you're the only person who's being persecuted, and everything seems terribly difficult. So it's a day to connect with your higher self, to love yourself, to connect with other people, to share your fears and worries about your life, to take a little bit of time for yourself, to master the inner demons and the inner beasts, and also to discuss the things that are going on in your life that may cause you to wake up in the middle of the night and to be afraid. So if you have some good friends, go for lunch, have a nice walk in the countryside with your friends, talk to them about the things that you have decided. So let's look at this ladder, okay? So my boyfriend, when we first got together, we were together 24/7. Now, I only see him 4 times a week because he works more. In the last 2 weeks, that's stepped up even more, and I only see him 2 days. Either he doesn't love me anymore or he's having an affair, which means that there's something wrong with me. I'm unlovable. He's untrustworthy and he never loved me. I'm going to end up going through a divorce that I don't want. I'm going to end up on the street, in the gutter. I'm going to be penniless. And the ladder can just go on and on and on and on. And it all starts with one little thought, that you're not spending as much time together. So you're drawing there's a German, I think this is German, where you draw the devil on the wall. It's an idiom, which makes sense. The worst possible thing that you can imagine is what you look at by building this ladder of worry, and you come up with the worst possible conclusion. So instead of doing that and being in the dark about it, like I said, speak to your friends, speak to your partner about it, enjoy yourself today, celebrate yourself, flaws and all. We all have flaws. You're never alone. You're never something special in the sense that you are the only person on the planet who is going through this tough time. There is someone on earth who has gone through exactly what you've gone through. And if you are able to speak to that person, you will find a way through it. So let go of the negativity, hand it over to the universe if you do have some sort of faith going. If not, then be willing to accept help. Say, universe, higher power, I don't know if you exist or not, but I've got all of these fears. And I know that I'm dealing with hyperbole here because I'm seeing the worst possible scenario and my mind is just running away with me. I want you to take these fears, please, and I want you to take them off me and I want you to deal with them for me. Just being willing is enough, because then you will start to feel the warmth of spirit and you will get guidance in how you can deal with those things. And by being present in the moment and on this day and being willing to deal with your issues, you will make friends with this gorgeous lion. And imagine that once you've made friends with this lion, imagine if he was a little bit bigger and you could actually get on his back and ride a lion. You would be unstoppable. You'd be the most powerful person ever. And that's because you haven't fragmented yourself into little beasts, into little beastly pieces rather, where you demonize yourself and say, this part of myself is like a lion. It's really, really horrible, like my tendency to be envious. But instead, you take those things, you complete yourself, you put all the puzzle pieces back together, and you get all your power back. So number-wise, let's have a look. We've got 8 and 9 is 17. 17 and 8 is 25. 2 and 5 is 7. 7 is mind and creativity, and we had that recently as well. It's really up to you the way you see things. It's really up to you the way the day is going to be. You can either share this day with your higher self and ask for help and have a lovely day of personal integration, and you can have fun with friends and family and discuss really serious matters. Or you can imagine the worst and isolate yourself and make things even worse for yourself. So choose the first, have a wonderful day, and grow as a result of it. If you'd like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. I use the tarot, astrology, and numerology in my personal readings. I can answer any questions you may have about the future, what's coming up for you in your life purpose, what your strengths and weaknesses are, what your vocational aptitudes are, whether you're compatible with another person, anything about your living situation or when the best time is to move. If you have any questions at all, then please just get in touch via the website gregoryscott.com. Have a wonderful day here, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.